Welcome back, guys. Tomorrow is the return of the Europa League. Red Star Belgrade back at home as they take on Midtjylland. 3 matches done, 3 more to go until the knockout stage. To kind of go back a little bit, Red Star draws Midtjylland in the last match, which was match day 3, 1-1. Red Star was up 1-0, and about 20 minutes after Red Star had scored, Midtjylland scored their goal to tie it at 1-1. And honestly, they had a lot of chances. They probably could have won it at the depth there. A lot of really good chances for Midtjylland, and they just didn't take advantage of it. The 3 points would have been crucial for Midtjylland, and I think it would have been a bad 3 points to drop or 2 points to drop for Red Star. Always, as I start the lineups, I don't think much is going to change. I think it's going to be Borjan in net. You have Dragovic as the center back, who's been great this season. You have Rodic on one as the left back, and then you probably will have Gobelic on the right back position. Again, it's a weak point for Red Star. I think neither Gobelic or Gajic have played really well this season. And I think Degenek is going to be the center back that's going to be pairing Dragovic. Degenek's had a bit of an up and down season as well. I wouldn't be shocked if Irakovic plays, but I think it's going to be Degenek just because it's a fairly big match for Red Star, and the last 3 will be crucial matches. So what Red Star is going to be hoping for is for Braga to drop points against Ludogorets. It's like a draw would be really good for Red Star. But yeah, I think that's what the backline is going to look like. The defensive midfielders, I think he's going to go back to a 4-2-3-1 since I believe everyone is healthy now. I think it's going to be Sanogo, and what I would do is, there's been a lot of talk. Njegos Petrovic started this past week, and he played pretty well, and Stankovic, sang his praises. He hasn't been involved a lot this season, but when it mattered and when he threw him in the lineup, he played pretty well. Wouldn't be surprised if Njegos Petrovic partners Sanogo in the midfield there. Look, you have 5 subs. Worst case scenario, if he doesn't play well, you sub him off at halftime, you bring in someone else. And I'm gonna say the 3 or the 4 up top now, and then I'll kind of give you a little bit more of a preview of what I would do if things aren't going well. So I think as a number 10, he will have Kanga, and on the wings, it will be Katai and Ivanic. Katai is back healthy again, and I think Pavko is going to play up top because no one's played well up top. Honestly, apart from Pavko, it's been guys in and out that number 9 position. This season's been very tough, and even last season, when you account for Ivanic and Katai scored a majority of our goals, and Ben got some too, and other guys, but the center forwards haven't been doing their job. So I have Kanga slotted in as the number 10. Look, if things aren't going your way at halftime, you move Kanga back to Njegos Petrovic's position, and you bring on Falco, you bring on Živkovic, you bring on someone else. This is why there's a lot of guys who can play different positions here. And Katai and Ivanic expect to rotate positions throughout the match. They do that a lot. They switch from left to right, right to left, whatever the case may be. They're very good at that. And they're equally as good on either wing, so it doesn't really matter. I want to see how Ivanic performs. There's been a little bit more pressure on him, I would say, in the past few matches because Katai hasn't played. So it seems like a lot of the burden offensively, even though Kanga has done a really good job, has been on Ivanic in terms of creating. Falco's been awful this season. There's been rumors that he could be going back to Italy with Perugia, and I forget who the other team that was vying for his services could be. Monza, I think, last season kind of wanted to bring him in, I think on a loan or something like that. But he could be gone. Živkovic, we've yet to really see him perform even good, so to say. He started that match against Braga and he got subbed off later in the match. Wouldn't be shocked to see him start, to tell you the truth either. But I think with like I said, there's a lot of guys who can play different positions in this lineup. So if things aren't going Stankovic's way, again, you have 5 subs. You can kind of rotate guys in and out, and guys can switch positions. But I think that's just that's the lineup that we're going to see. And like I said, Pavko is the only guy that's produced up top. Diony hasn't been really good. Lazatic is still young, but he's shown some glimpses of, possibly being a really good player, a year or 2 down the road. Kristovic has been sold. And one thing I think I said in the preview of the last match, which took place in Denmark, is when Midtjylland wins their matches, they have a lot of shots on goal, their passing percentages are high, and their completion of passes is high. If I remember correctly, against Red Star in the last match, it was really good. I think they were in the 85, 86 percentile in terms of passes completed, and they had quite a bit of shots on net, not necessarily a lot on target, but a lot of shots on net. So it was kind of, when they're bad, they don't get a lot of shots on net, and their passing percentages are very low. Red Star's passing percentages have been low, whether they win or lose in the Europa League. They've been able to just kind of get points. When you take a look at the 3 matches they played, for one of them, they've only had a healthy squad, and then Ludogorets away and Midtjylland away, it was kind of like a makeshift lineup. A lot of guys in and out, a lot of guys injured, COVID, and things like that. So those 2 matches, I don't know if you can really judge Red Star on, but they're a completely different team at home when you have the support of the home fans. Not saying they didn't get support, when they played away, but it's just a completely different atmosphere when they do play at home. Brumada is still out for Midtjylland. Juninho is back. He's their center back. He's one of their better players. They had another player who was a question mark. Don't know if he's traveled with the club. Lint was really good when he came on against Red Star in the match in Denmark. And Isaacson was also very good. Sisisto was also outstanding player. Suffered a lot of tackles. His link-up ability is really good. But when things have been really tough for Red Star, I think Sanogo's really shown up as a defensive midfielder. He's done a lot of dirty work for Red Star in that midfield. So he's the guy who kind of does the dirty work, and Kanga's the kind of guy who kind of distributes the ball all over the place, spraying it all across the field, whether it's even Ichkatai, Pavko, whoever it is. And with Pavko back in the lineup, if he does start, which I expect him to, a lot of aerial threats now, or a bigger aerial threat than before. Look, the last 2 matches, Bodian plays it short, but if he doesn't have anything short, he has to boot it out, and you're pretty much giving the other team possession. And Bodian's distribution has been awful this season. It was awful in the second half of last season, I would say, as well. So that's something to keep an eye on entering this match. Short passes, he's fine, but the long balls and stuff, he's been off for, I think if I remember correctly, since the Milan round of 32 last season in the Europa League. So we'll see how Red Star deal with that. It's going to be good to have Katai back. Ivanic take a little bit of pressure off of him. We'll see if Ben starts. Ben scored against Radnik Surdulica. Unfortunately, Red Star lost to Radnik Surdulica, which was a bit of a shock. 2-1 away, 5 points off the leaders, Partizan, in the domestic league now. It's going to take some work now, but Ben hasn't been that great, and I know he scored and things like that. His form has just been really up and down this season. I thought against Ludogorets he should have scored a goal or 2. I think I thought about against Midtjylland he should have scored a goal as well. So if he can kind of get on track there, it'll just be another threat for Red Star. Falco, I don't expect him to start this match with everyone healthy. And like I said, if you can slide in Kanga as that number 10, you could have Ivanic and Kata in the wings. I think that's another option for Stankovic, but he has surprised us in the past. Starting Cernic, a guy who doesn't really get many minutes at all for the club as a defensive midfielder. So nothing should surprise us here. Shouldn't surprise us if he goes with 3 at the back. I don't think he will, but don't be shocked if he does. Another thing I'll say is if Red Star does win this, and if Braga does draw Ludogorets, I think Red Star is looking really good with 2 matches left. We still have Ludogorets at home, and then we travel to Portugal to face Braga. But if the lead, is big enough, that last match might not mean anything if Red Star is, 4 points ahead of Braga or whatever, 5, depending on what it is at that time. But this is like a crucial game. So this is the first game of the second part of the group stage. If we have to get a win here, and then, if Ludogorets can do us a favor and draw Braga or even win, and then we're kind of looking good going forward in the Europa League, and we're going to be that much closer to qualifying for the next round, which is the round of 16.